Hey guys, welcome back to You Are Your Mom. I'm Ashley, your host, and today we're going to talk about something that is so relevant to today's society, and that is friendships after a baby. As adults, your friendships typically change anyway, just because the way life is, everybody goes through different things. However, after you have a baby, that changes times like 1,000. I've realized this a lot with my child and like people that I'm friends with, we're friends with, whatever you want to call it. Things just change. For me personally, I have to honestly take a look back over everything and say, like, hey, reevaluate that friendship or reevaluate how you move with that person because well, it's just not conducive of how you once were. Sometimes you're no longer compatible with a person, y'all have different interests, and it's just like, okay, well, let's not force it. We don't have to waste our time. It just is what it is. That doesn't necessarily mean that there's an issue between the two of y'all. It's just like, okay, well, we've outgrown each other. They moved on with their life, you moved on with your life, and there's just no reason to try to force you to, try to continue on with a friendship that's no longer there. I think that for me personally, I'm the type of person that like once my radar goes off, it's just no going back. Like I don't have a reason to try to put the effort into it anymore because I have honestly always been the type of person that I'm gonna try until I no longer feel a reason to. And then once that's the case, it is what it is. And like I said, that doesn't mean that we have beef or anything like that. It's just like, I mean, I've done all I'm gonna do as a person. My tolerance for adults is so much lower than my tolerance for children because I have a child. So I think that I try to put all of my energy and effort into making sure my child has a good life. And I don't have the energy to boost egos or baby grown people. Like I'm not gonna do it. So I think for me, I try to reach out to people. I try to make sure that I'm a good friend because that's what I would want for myself. And when it comes down to it, like I'm a very introverted person. So once I feel like I've let you into my circle, I expect, you to be a me for me. So once you're not that, then it's like, okay, well, you know, life happens, people move on, and that's just what it is. I think that before I had my child, I was super more like, oh, well, let's try to, reach out to each other more often. Let me try to, plan stuff that we hang out or whatever. And it's just like, I realized moving forward, like, my child is literally my business. Like, he might give me the business 23 out of 24 4 hours in a day, but he's one person that's never going to switch up on me. And I know that for sure. Like, I know before I had him, I had people like, this is nephew, this is God, mommy's child. And these are people that I didn't choose as his godparents. Let me make that very clear. People that wanted to be a part of it for the recognition. So then when it came down to it, and I'm the type of person like, you're not going to get my child if I don't trust you like that, or, you just want to have him just to say you had him or for pictures or whatever. No, not happening. Like I always have been super protective over him, and I still am to this day. He's 2, and he doesn't go to daycare. He, like he's with me or his dad 24/7. So it's just like I'm not gonna force him to be uncomfortable to appease people's egos, and I'm not gonna change how I am as a parent to keep friendship. I'm not doing that. But I've also tried to make sure that I'm the type of friend that if I see that you're going through something, I try to reach out and say like, "Hey, I'm still here for you. Even though I'm a mom, I'm still the same person that I was before. I didn't change our friendship or our dynamic. But, it's okay if you're going through anything. Like, you can call me, you can text me, and I go through things. But I don't actually like rely on people to be there for me as much as I am there for other people. And with that being said, like, I understand, adult friendships are very different than college friendships, high school friendships, and all those things because every day you mature more. Every day life changes. It can throw you this day, you got 5 or 6 bills due and no money in your account and you don't want to talk to nobody. But then the next day is like, okay, I was having a moment yesterday. If you reached out to me, I'm responding today. I'm the type of person that I understand people go through things, but also it's like I go through things as well. And when I'm going through things, I don't portray it on other people. Nobody really knows when I go through things. So I also keep that in mind when I'm evaluating the type of people that I wanna be friends with. Like, I know for me personally, I wanna be friends with people that are compatible with my new normal, and that means you have to know what your new normal is. Like, my child is 2, and I'm still learning things about myself as a mom every day. That doesn't change. But also as a person, I think that I still keep the same energy, like, that I've had my whole life. I'm there for you if you need me, but I'm not gonna chase you. Like, I'm not gonna continue to reach out or beg you to let me help you, let me be there for you. I'm not gonna do that. I don't have the patience or tolerance to baby grown people, and I have a child for that. Like, that's what he's for. And so I think recently I've realized that a lot with, just people in general. Like, I don't have the energy to give to friendships that are one-sided. I don't have the energy to give to people who don't want me to be there for them, and I'm okay with that. Like, if you choose to not include me in your, things that are supposed to be celebrated or anything like that, I'm not gonna try. Like, I'm done with those instances in my life where I try to be there for people who don't want me to be there for them. And I don't require or expect you to be there for me because I have, family. I have people that genuinely want to be there for me, who care that if I'm, just having a crash out day, that I can vent to them or whatever the case is. So I don't try to force any kind of friendship that make it known that we're no longer compatible. With that being said, that I there's not really any like issues. I'm the type of person, I don't have an issue with you unless you disrespect me personally. You say something about my child, then it's up. Like, there's no coming back from that. But as far as, like, we just kinda lose compatibility, there's no beef, or, we can still be cordial, or, I'm never gonna be like, "Oh, if I see you, I'm just gonna walk past you," or whatever. It's not that. It's just, like, I realize that I no longer have a place in your life, so then I kinda move on. And I'm the type of person that also is like, I want to have people that are, have the same type of interest as me. Like, my interests have changed a lot since becoming a mom. Like, I'm typically just interested in things that are, beneficial to my child. So, like, I wanna go to parks, I wanna go to the zoo and stuff like that. I don't wanna go to the club, I don't wanna go for drinks. Those things don't interest me anymore, and I feel like that is not a judgmental thing. It's just I feel like I've grown out of that. I'm 26 years old. I don't have an interest in going to get drunk and then something happens and I can no longer be a parent to my child. I have no interest in my mom keeping my baby all the time for me to go out or do whatever I wanna do. I have an interest in being a parent, learning how to be a better parent every day, and just making sure that my child has a good life. And so that for me is just like, I want people who are like that to be, friends with, like, people who are genuinely interested in being moms, genuinely interested in learning and helping me. Like, I know I'm not the perfect mom by any standard. I don't think that I'm a perfect mom. I think that I'm a learning mom. Like, I do what I feel is best for my child, and then sometimes that's not always best for him, but I learn from my mistakes and I, move on. And I have a lot of, like, mom friends that I'm like, "Okay, well, I would think we're compatible, but sometimes that's just not the case." And, a lot of these people are people that I've known growing up, or people that, I was friends with at one point in life, and we, became uncompatible. But it's like, "Okay, well, wait, let's try this again because now we have something in common. We're both moms, so have kids, close to the same age or whatever." And then it's like, "Oh, no, not it." That doesn't work. So I think for me, like, I've learned that sometimes it's just okay to be to yourself, to, focus on you. Like, I've always been the type of friend that I put everybody's burdens on my shoulder. Like, I always want to help people. I always want to be like, okay, what do you need? Even if I'm going through something, like, you're not going to know when I'm going through something if you're going through something. I'm going to put your needs and wants first. And I'm still that person to this day. Like, but I've learned that sometimes that's not what's best for me, and that essentially affects my child. So once something affects my son, I'm gonna cut it off. It's no, not doing that. But also, like, I think that a lot of times we fail to realize that sometimes you just have to wait for the right friends group to come around. Like, I think we have this mindset of I'm complacent in the people that I've always been around, and sometimes that's not what's best for you at all. And of course, it hurts because you're like, dang, I've always, been there for these people. I've always celebrated these people, and they've celebrated me. And then when it comes down to it, they're not the people that you thought they were. And you only see that once you become a parent because a lot of the times you're blindsided by, okay, this has been my friend. Nothing's ever going to change. And it does. Once you become, you know, a parent, you open your eyes a lot to the people you surround yourself with. You open your eyes a lot to just situations in general because I never want to put myself in a situation with when I'm doing something like I don't drink for a reason. Like I don't go out and drink. I don't ever want to put myself in a position that is in my control that I end up, hurt or whatever, and I'm no longer able to be a parent to my child. With that being said, a lot of the times I typically just choose to stay to myself and be where my kid is. And a lot of people that isn't really conducive to them. And I'm okay with that too. Like I have people who were, like I said, when I was pregnant, like, oh, I'm gonna be there for you whenever you need something for the baby, da da da. And I had the baby too and haven't heard anything from them. They don't even know anything about them, don't come around. And it's just like, okay. But then it's like I also have friends that don't have kids, aren't in relationships and stuff like that. And I realized that they're the type of people that are more likely to come around. They play with him, they do whatever to entertain him or just they're there for him. And I realized that some people are more interested in being a better friend now that they know like, dang, this parenting thing, you need a village, you need support and I want to support you. Like I don't know nothing about being a mom, but I can play with your kid. I can come to your house and bring food or whatever. We can watch a movie. They are genuinely there for me and my son. But I also have friends that I genuinely like made like, hey, this is, this is your nephew. This is your, whatever. And nothing like they've never held them. They've never bought a diaper. They've never played with them. Nothing. And it's just like, okay, well, I kind of look different in that sense because I thought that we were closer than that. And sometimes you just realize that you grow out of people, people grow out of you, and you move on with your life. But also, for me personally, I think that my siblings are my best friends because, like, they get everything that I go through. They get, like, the ups and downs of being a mom. They get the ups and downs of what that looks like, mentally, emotionally, it's draining, it's fun, it's, you know, all of the things, but they see it firsthand because it's like my sisters they be there. Like, and when nobody else is, they're gonna be there. Like with his dad, he he gets me sometimes because it's like I'll be venting to him and he'll be like, well, I mean, he's like very calm and whatever. It's like, well, I mean, you can't really control other people. I'm like, that's not what I wanted you to say. I wanted you to be like, you know what? Yeah, that person was wrong. You have a right to feel how you feel. And it's like, yeah, I mean, you have a right to feel how you feel, but you kind of saw that coming. And that's like, no, like, agree with me. But he is just not that person at all. And I love him to death, but I'd be like, dude, read the room, read the room. Like, but that's also like another person that I feel like he's a genuine friend to me because it's like he's gonna tell me when I'm wrong, he's gonna tell me when I'm right, he's gonna tell me what I want to hear, what I don't want to hear, but he's also going to keep me in line. And that's what I look for in friendships that I just genuinely don't have, like because a lot of people that I've been around or hang out with or whatever, they genuinely just they're focused on them, they're focused on what they got going on in life. And I don't typically try to make people worry about my life or what I got going on. I give you the information that I feel is necessary or relevant to our friendship. I don't say, well, yeah, I hit my pinky toe and broke my toenail, and I think that you should come over and make sure I got a band aid. No, it's not that serious. But then it's like in times where I actually need you to be a friend, you're not there for me. But in times where, you need me to be a friend, I'm always there or, like, as much as you allow me to be. Like, if you want me to be a part of celebrating you, I'm genuinely gonna do that. Even if you don't want me to be a part of it, I'm still gonna celebrate you because I'm just like, "Oh my god, this is a great accomplishment in your life, you know, congratulations," or whatever. But then it's like, when it comes to, like, my accomplishments or things like that, it's like, "Oh, good for you." So I just keep a lot of things in mind these days. Just I pay attention and I reciprocate energy because I think that for me, that affects how I'm able to maneuver. I try to not put extra energy into things, but sometimes I do, and I can't control that because it's like, well, dang, I've always been there for this person. I've always, been a good friend to them, and they just don't give me that back. And it's like, well, essentially, they've always been the type of person that they are now. You just chose not to see it. And a lot of the time, it hurts you to be like, you know what, I'm just going to sever ties and move on. And that's what you have to do. And having kids, you have to really evaluate, is this person even going to be beneficial my kid's life because that's what I'm more concerned about. I'm more concerned about whether or not they're going to be that auntie that I need them to be for my child or be that, uncle that I need to be for my child. But a lot of times they're not going to do that. And I think for moms, it's definitely more important to have good friendships or a good support system than it is for dads or males in general because males don't really put emotion into friendship. And that's one thing, it's like either we're cool or we're not. They don't really look at friends as friends. They're like, "You're my homeboy," or whatever, and, if you cross me, that's it. We don't have to, you know, put anything else into it. I think with females, I'm emotionally attached to this person because I would think that, if we've been through all this or whatever, they would be a good friend to me, and it's just like so for males, it's like, well, I mean, just move on, it is what it is. But then the female's like, "Well, wait, like, no, you're not comprehending that this is somebody I look at as I would look at my siblings or whatever, I give them that energy and they kinda just like, "Okay, well, I no longer care about your feelings or whatever." So you kinda it hurts you more and it takes a toll on how you look at people in general. You trust people less when you have children. You accept less when you have children. So then sometimes as a mom, you become very introverted. You become very isolated in just focusing on your family or your child or whatever your new normal is because you don't have the energy that you once had. But a lot of the times we don't see that until something really happens, and it is what it is. We can't control what other people do or don't do. We can only control how we respond. And I saw this quote the other day, and I'm paraphrasing, of course. You have people who don't want to take accountability for their actions, only the actions of how you respond. I see that so much in my life. Like, I have people it's like, "You genuinely did something that hurt me." And then when I respond, instead of just letting it go, it's like, "Well, wait, why are you responding like that? I don't understand. This is, you shouldn't respond like that." And it's like, "Well, no, you don't get to dictate how I feel or what I choose to do for what you did to me. You don't get to tell me how to feel or how I should or shouldn't respond or react because you made your choice when you did whatever you did. So then subsequently, I'm gonna do whatever I wanna do or react however I wanna react, and you don't get to dictate that." So, I think that one thing that I've learned as far as friendships after having a baby is you kind of put yourself in an introverted space as far as what you really want to accept. You look at people different, you trust people different, you respond different, you're a different person. And one thing about people who are supposed to be your friends, call yourself a friend, they have to learn the new you as long as they're willing to. You have to learn the new you when you have a child, so they should have to learn the new you as well. And some people just aren't willing to put in that same effort as you would, and you have to be okay with that. You have to be okay with losing friendships, losing people you were close with. You have to be okay with, you know what, this is just not we're not compatible anymore. We're not on the same page. We have different interests. We have different styles now and move on. Like there isn't any issue, there isn't any beef. It's just like we're just not where we used to be anymore. And I've had that a lot where I've had to say those exact words. I just thought we were better than we were, and clearly we're not. And so I'm just not interested in making amends. I'm not interested in chasing friends that don't want to be chased. I'm not interested in me reaching out to you in a response or you reaching out to me. I'll read it and I'm not going to respond because it's like when you had the opportunity to let me celebrate you or share with me things that I would think as close friends I should know before everybody else knows, or I should be able to tell you when you're wrong without you being offended or whatever the case is, or you playing victim. That's one thing I just totally I don't deal with well, like that victimization of I know I did wrong, but I want you to feel bad for it. I'm not gonna do that. Like I'm not gonna feel bad for how I feel or how I react ever in any situation because typically if I react a certain way it's because I've tried to not let it get this far, but you put no effort into, trying to stop the downfall before it happens. So, I mean, I'm just the type of person that is like, all right, we're good. We don't have anything else to talk about. But a lot of the times we don't try to do that because we're so busy trying to boost egos. We're so busy trying to not hurt people's feelings. When you become a mom, you care a lot less about feelings because you realize that people don't care about your feelings. You realize that people don't care to, boost your ego or anything like that. So you don't try to do it for them. And typically that's what changes the dynamic of your friendship. With that being said, if that is something that you personally dealt with after becoming a mom, keep holding on because the right friends will come, the right groups of people will come. Typically, it's going to be people who are more compatible with your new lifestyle, your future, and that's okay. You just have to wait for the right friendship to come around. And they're going to be people who want that same type of bond. They're not going to use excuses as life is life and life for parents as well. Life for people in general, and that's not really an excuse as to why you have switched up. And that's just something that comes with parenthood. It comes with, being a genuine person. And I think that's the most important thing when you think about friendships after having a baby. As long as you're a genuine person, eventually you will have genuine people who join your circle. And sometimes your circle might be a dot, and that's just something you have to be okay with. So if this was something that you feel like you're, going through right now, please make sure you keep in mind to subscribe to our channels. Our social media is how we figure out what you want to see on this podcast, what you want to hear about, things that you want to keep up to date with. So of course, make sure you follow, subscribe, and like all our channels. We do have the links to all of the social media in our YouTube page. Just make sure that you keep on being the mom that you're supposed to be. Don't let people's actions stop you from being who you are. Be the parent that your child needs, and whoever is meant to be in your life will be, and whoever's not will be removed, and you just go on with your life. Until next time, guys, I forgot my cup again, but keep sipping on that mommy juice, and we will see you guys next time.